Hey projectors, Bangers here again. Today's review is on this Ryobi 100 watt palm sander. Micro friction 100 watt palm sander Ryobi RPS 100-S. Okay, now, I'll say a couple of things before we get going. I've done a lot of painting and a lot of sanding in my life, which I'm more than happy to tell anybody about who wants to listen. And I love painting. I think it's great. I find it rewarding. I'm probably one of those weird freaks out there that loves painting. And I've done heaps of it and I'm good at it and all that jazz. However, I thought to myself, I'm sanding away and I normally sand finishing and stuff like that. Not large areas and not joinery and all that sort of stuff with sander by hand. Okay, now I'm not talking mechanical sanding on like a belt sander or I'm sanding some sort of timber thing, or we're talking set gyprock finishing of that sort of thing. And we're also talking nail holes in architrave from the brat gun and things like that. So we're talking finishing off, all right? I do a lot of that sanding by hand with a good old fashioned chalk block, a bit of sandpaper, 120 and 240, and a flat hand sander for the larger areas. Now, yes, mechanically when you're finishing all that sort of stuff, it's going on with the big vacuum paddle sander, all that sort of stuff. Okay, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the setters have been in, the gyprockers have been in here. Great story, and we need to get the job done and finish off. So what we've done here in a lot of these areas is gone through and checked everything, punched all the nails down, and gone through and used some top coat or some spackle and filled up all the nail holes. We're going back to fill those in. And what I normally do is just hand sand, and I've had great success with that, where this sanding block is designed to go in the little corners of all the architrave, and you know, it's no secret that this, you know, the paper wraps around great and you're sanding the architrave and you're sanding everything where you put spackle, okay? And I thought to myself, now I've got a big AEG orbital sander. That's way too aggressive for this. That's for like sanding large areas. I might sand a door with something like that. Anyhow, you get the idea. So I thought to myself, I'm in Bunnings and I thought, you know, if I could save an hour across one room, that would be, say, I'd be happy to pay $100 to do that. Yeah? So I'll double check the price, but this was, I think, $89. So we're going to review this today and see how it goes. So let's crack her open. First thing that caught my eye was it's got a carry case. Fantastic. Don't be bringing out a product without a carry case. You're killing me. Okay, so this has got a couple of things on it. Grip zone over mold technology for improved comfort with grip position. Okay, great story. 100 watt motor, quick fix and loop base. Yeah, loop base, okay. Micro filtration system, dust tech box, uni fingered pad. All right, fine. And the pad size, now I've done all the hard work here because I got this out of the box in Bunnings. What's going on here? Oh, we've got our first hurdle. Come on, Ryobi. Oh, bit of jazz in the thing there. Okay, here we go. Instructions. Yeah, great story. All right, move on. There's our carry case. Oh, we get bonus. Very generous, Ryobi. We get 5 free pads. All right, let's sit that there like that. And give a good shot of that. You know what? Let's just put that aside for now. Okay, so first thing, nice and light, great. Now some of you might be thinking, Bangers, why you should have a cordless one, okay? Or battery operated. But you know what? I'm not doing a whole lot. I don't have a lot of Ryobi gear, all right? You would have seen me do the review on the vacuum. Now Ryobi are making some great products and you can see I'll put the link to that video as well. So I just don't do a lot of Ryobi stuff. Battery operated, okay? So this has got this neat little dust thing on the back, which is great. Got a pretty decent, this cable feels pretty nice and flexy, which is good. I had to get these things out, they're so stiff and whatever else. So that's a nice little flexible cable, nice lightweight. Okay, great, excellent. And I'm assuming this just pulls off here somehow. Yeah, beautiful, look at that, that just came straight off. That just pulls right off. Now, I'm going to assume I can stick my vacuum on there. If that's the case, then great story. But got this little pod filter here. I'm going to assume we're flying blind here. I should probably get the instructions out. I don't want to break anything here. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. What a mad little dust filter there. That's cool. So that'll pop out. That'll be a tap out situation. Good. So if we're doing the gyprock and the finishing of the gyprock, I reckon that's going to be a plus. So that's great. That clips on there. It's also got this. It's also got this neat little. You're supposed to be able to have like this dual. It's got the iron pattern here, but then it's also got the. It's got this fold. It's got this cool little fold down detail. This little detail piece here. Look at that. Okay, and I'm assuming that's for getting up into the gyprock corners and things like that, and you might be doing some furniture and all that sort of jazz. So you've got an on-off. There's no dual speed, that's fine. I'm assuming they've got it set to a good speed. So at some Bunnings, you can only buy the multi-pack of these from Ryobi because they just don't stock them or whatever else. And I'm assuming that at other Bunnings you can buy just whole packs of 120 or what have you. All right. Now, what's disturbing is you can't get 240 in the, just doesn't come with 240. So I'm not that psyched about that. And you got to have these little minty bits at the top. Now, I reckon you can just cut these with your scissors. They'll be fine. That's not a big problem. Our friends at Diablo, after I stood in Bunnings and had a look at it and did my own research, is that the Diablo pads fit right on here, absolutely perfect, with all the holes lined up and everything. Now, if we look at our box in the ultimate version of confusion, it says 99 by 149 by 149. Now, our friends over at Diablo call theirs 102 by 62 by 93. Okay, so this is how they're all trying to have a fight with each other or whatever. Who cares, right? But look at this. That goes on there, absolutely perfect. Yeah? Holes, shape, perfect. Okay, so I've done the hard yards there for you. So you want Diablo sanding sheets, all materials, 120 by 62 by 93, 220 grit hook and loop. Okay, and it's got the picture of the iron sander there. That's the one I bought. And you can buy a giant pack. You can buy a pack of 10 120 grits, and you can buy a pack of 10 240 grits. Fantastic. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to go in here. I'm going to go straight. I'm going to go straight here. I've done a fair bit of other sanding here. I've got an example here to test this on. We're going to go straight to 240 because I've already finished that off over there. Just going to give it a go and see how it goes at 240. So we'll put that back in there. Then we're going to put this one on here. That's how I like to do these sanding pads. One side going up to the tip. Good, give it a bit of a push. Perfect. Okay. We've got the extension lead there. We'll see how it goes. Safety second, of course. You can see here where the repair is here on this side of the wall, where I needed to repair some of the gyprock on this side where we've had the architrave put in. And I've sanded I've filled the holes in the architrave, but I've had to come back and just fix up here. So this is going to be great to give us an example of how that runs on the wall. Also, I want the flat pattern. I want to keep it flat on the wall, so I'm getting the nice, I'm not pushing in like this, and see if we can get right up against the architrave here, and we'll give it a shot. Here we go. fail. So great, on the wall here, no problem. Like it goes up and down, I can get it in here. Didn't like to be sort of point on and it chatted a bit, which like, yeah, you expect that, okay, fair enough. So you got to kind of handle it right. Yeah, it's sanded all this up pretty nice, that's pretty good. Sanded that bit, beautiful. Sanded the architrave. So look here, I can get it on the architrave, I can get it on the splay of the architrave. I was even up here, like it felt good, okay, it felt fine. But check this out for a problem. So I want to sand my architrave. I'm sanding the flat bit. It doesn't allow me to sand. I can't, so it touches the wall here and it touches the floor. But if it touches any of the wall or the ground, it's not touching the splay of the architrave, right? So now I can't actually. It's not that, it should be narrower, okay? Now I'm still gonna have to come and sand this by hand, all right? But I'm imagining it can do this top bit here, all right? Okay, great. So I think it's going to save me some time. It's going to be great. It can sand the up and down architraves. You know, I can sand here. I can sand here. I can sand on there. I can sand in the little bit here. It's great. It's got a neat little area here. But I can't. It's on the floor one. But on the floor here, against the floor, I can't, it won't reach on the 45. On this is like 68 mil standard FJ half splay skirting. So about a third of all the work that I've got to do, which is sand that top 45 piece of the splay, I'm going to have it back do by hand anyway. So I've got to be honest with you, and this is the small one. There's another one of these, is a 180 watt. This is a 100 watt. So look, all right, I give them points for getting it right, but you know, geez, this would be in a bunch of houses, right? I can't even get it to make it sand on that one piece without touching the floor or the wall. So yeah, bit gutted about that, to be honest. So we're just going to try this little fold down piece on the top of the rope. It folds down real easy, it's really cool. Just going to see if that'll get into all these little nooks and crannies, which are quite hard to sand. So I'm talking in the corner of these, in the corner of the doors here, up in the corner of the architrave, the small bit where the cornice is and things like that. So, and I'm also going to give it a little test in here where I would be up in here sanding this. So here we go. Okay. That's pretty cool. Like that, normally you're in there with the I'll give you an idea of how that normally goes. So if you've done this before, all right, you're normally in here with a sanding block, or you're kind of in here like this, trying to, you know, sand these corners and everything. So, you know, they handled that pretty well. I'm impressed with that. So they're redeeming themselves. So one of the things that's fairly time consuming when I'm doing this type of sanding, and I think some of the punters out there would know this takes a little while and it's a bit of a punish, is to sand the corners of this gyprock here where it comes in tight. So you're in here with little bits of sandpaper, and it can be scrapers and stuff, can be a bit of a punish. So just gonna give this a bit of a shot and see how we go. Okay, that was pretty neat. It's going to save me some time. I think that's, you saw there, it fit right in the little corner. It was bzzz, leaves a little bit of a black mark when you're rubbing the foam up against the edge of things, but I think it's going to be fine. That'll just quick little touch up and should be right. But that's, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that so far. So it's pretty straightforward here to convert this back. You just flip that little switch and pick it up out of the way. So it's got that little cover there, flicking that switch, putting it away, happy days. I like that, that's pretty smooth, okay? Good work, Ryobi, on that. So let's try it in the corner of a room here where I would normally be sanding up and down with a hand sander. All right, I'll give you a shot of that. So this is the gyprock wall here. So you can see here in the corner where you normally want to sand. I don't know if you can see it on the camera there, but there's a little imperfection here that I want to try and get rid of. I don't know if you can see that. There's like a line that's been left there from the sanding. So here we go. I'm just going to try and run this down. It's actually part of that line up here as well. I don't know if you can see it. It's like a line that's been left in the sanding, probably from their machine, right? So here we go. Okay, that's a bit of a game changer. I was just able to run that down there a few times, and it seems to be if I kept that nice and flat, that's a beautiful pattern. It's taken out that little mark, and it's just perfectly flat and nice and smooth. So, yeah, okay, I'm coming around. I've been sanding here for quite a while now. It's gotten dark, so I had to get the extra lights out. I just wanted to show you this little feature here, this tub that comes off the back. Now, those of you who've done any kind of renovations know that sanding gyprock, especially at 240 grit, that stuff, it ruins electronics, it just gets everywhere, it filters down into everything, and it ruins vacuum cleaners. I've got industrial vacuums here that I've got to tap the filter out every half an hour, every hour when I'm doing gyprock and type stuff. And this little canister, it's got like a little air vent on the back, and it's got this little sort of, it's not really paper filter, but it's kind of like some sort of woven filter. And that pops out of here, that pops out of there like that, right? And it actually captures a significant amount of that dust. It's actually, I would say that's one of its best features, to be honest. I don't know how I can demonstrate that. We'll use its manual, which has got this grey piece on it. So this was a couple of minutes. Oh, that was a couple of minutes worth of sanding. There's a decent pile of dust there, right? And that would normally be on the ground or in the air or what have you. So I'm impressed with that. Hey, that's pretty good. I want to leave that there. So that's actually pretty impressive. I saw a lot of these things struggle like that, but this one, whatever the vibration and whatever the airflow they got right was, whatever the airflow they have on this, they got that right. So that little filter clips in, and then that cover goes on the top. It just kind of clicks on. It's really kind of solid, which is great. And then it's just straight on the back here. Really, that's impressive. That's good. They got that right. Okay, that's great. So I've got to be honest with you. Other than the fact that it doesn't allow me to sand the 45 or like the chamfered piece of the skirting board, which is a real disappointment. However, I'm actually pretty impressed. This little sanding thing here, and I cut one of these with the scissors and a Stanley knife, and it took me like 30 seconds to just cut another one of these little pieces out of a piece of Diablo filter. So don't get too wound up about buying those little mincy things that go on the front here, because I was like, oh God, I've got to buy packs of those tiny little things. Nah, you just make them out of whatever other hoop and look sanding pad, your loop and hook sanding pad you've got on the back. And that was actually quite good for getting in all the little nooks and crannies of the chip rock and all the little cornice and everything like that. So I was pretty happy with that. And I don't much rate their sanding pads for whatever reason. Maybe I'm a bit funny about that, but these Diablo ones, the only holes they're missing are these three at the bottom here. So that, and I just got annoyed that at the time I couldn't buy a 10 pack of 120 and 240 sanding pads. You had to get this like multi-pack, right? Okay, great story, who cares? And then the sizes don't really match up. So anyway, enough of all that. So there you go, the Ryobi 100 watt palm sander. I can recommend it. Just be aware that it doesn't do that little piece on the skirting board. The Diablo pads fit it, and I'll put some details up of that. But I've got to be honest with you, I really like the little filter on the back. The cable's nice and light. I was using it with an extension lead. I just tied it, and it was no problem to get up on the ladder up where I needed to go. And I specifically bought this corded model because I don't have a lot of Ryobi gear, and I don't have the batteries and all that, but I'm not at all upset that this has the cable on it. It wasn't hard to manage. And yeah, whatever microfiltration, I was saying micro friction before, it's microfiltration. So that microfiltration, yeah, fantastic. So yeah, I can recommend it. Good luck with your sanding.